It's day 4 of season 2 of Daphne Designs. In the last episode, we were working on this loft. We just kind of got the walls like all in place, so now we need to decorate it. I started out with this hospital window and it goes all the way across that one wall, and I just love it when the windows like take up like a whole wall. Then I want to use the safari curtain on either side so it looks like our window has curtains. Then I want to change the curtains to like a purple color just so it goes with our theme. I feel like most of the time like in this house, other than when I did like the trim, like I pretty much just like pick a purple color. I'm not like too picky about it, and I just see if I like it and I stick with it if I do. And I know that I want to have like lots of flowers and lots of like green just because that's our theme, and so I picked this like hanging ivy for one of the walls. And then pretty much how I've done like all the other like greenery that I've used in this house, I pretty much just clone it and move it, and sometimes I change the size of it. And I'm really just going to do that the whole length of the wall. I'm just going to kind of like move them around and make it so that each one is kind of a little bit different like size. And some of them I'm just going to put like single, and then other ones I just moved it slightly and put them like right next to each other just to kind of cover the wall and make it look like there's a lot of greenery. And here's what it looked like when I got finished with it. And also I decided not to actually add flowers to that wall, which is kind of surprising considering like everywhere else it was like flowers and greenery. Then I knew I wanted to put a rug on the ground. I picked the striped one. I feel like I keep using this one, especially in this house. And I like it because it's just another layer. And then again, I'm just going to change the two stripe colors to two different purples, but they're not really going to stand out that much. Then I picked this Valentine's bed mainly because it doesn't take up like that much space, and it's kind of looks like it's really comfortable. And I do think there's a lot of room up here, but not enough room for like a full bed. I really like the look of this one, and we can still like walk around up here. Next, I did this little table. I'm going to use this Royal Palace drawers. Then I'm not going to try to place it like right next to the bed. I'm just going to put it over here like on the side, and then I kind of changed the colors so it blended in a little bit better. And then I'm going to pick a lamp for the top of it. I picked this flower lamp, and I don't want it to stand out like too much, especially like the bottom of it, and so I changed it all to where it's just going to kind of blend in. It still has that purple and the green, but also like white. And then I really didn't feel like the flower on the top of it was as big as I wanted it to be, so I picked this 4-leaf plant like I use all the time, I feel like. And I'm actually going to use 2 of those for the top of this, or I'm just going to put them on the top like where that flower is, so the flower is like a lot bigger. So I kind of had to move around this flower, like get it the right size, but then also like rotate it and use like the advanced move just to get it like right there where the flower is on the top of the lamp. And then once I got it like right where I wanted it to, I actually cloned it and then kind of just moved that one around so it made it look like an even bigger flower, or a fuller flower, I guess, and I just really like the look of that better. Then I kind of just stepped back to see if I liked how that looked. And you kind of can like turn it or like place it like wherever you want to, but I think it looks really cute back there. Then I thought we needed a little bit more green, so I picked this plant. I think it's like the Queensland rubber plant or something like that, and I picked that plant to go over there. And then I'm just gonna pick change the base of it to white because I just think it always looks better when it's white. And then also for some reason I always think this plant is like too dark of a green for me, so I always kind of change the green to a little bit lighter. And then you guys know with like these kind of plants, I like clone it and then I turn it like the next one, and then I make it a little bit bigger, and it just really adds to a plant. Like it just makes the plant look like it's healthier, I guess. I don't know. Then I use these winter lights and I just changed the color of them, and then you're going to see me put them on this back wall, like, or this first wall that you see when you come in. But eventually I'm going to clone them, and I'm actually going to move them over to that wall that we were just working on where we just put that plant and we just put that lamp, and I'm actually going to move them over there, so you could go ahead and like move them over there if you want to. I just love the look of like hanging lights, and especially when they're like white lights, and I don't know why, but I just think it's so cool even when it's not Christmas time. And then here's what it looked like when I finished, but honestly I moved it over to that other wall, so it's not really finished. And I think I thought that ivy was like too green, I guess, on that wall, so I actually picked this like Queensland like door frame or something like that, and I decided to actually put it on this wall with the ivy just so it kind of like covers up the ivy a little bit. I don't know, I think it looks like pretty cool. I mean, I think this wall looked like pretty good without it, but I really like it there, so you can just like decide whether you like it or not. I ended up like sizing them down and pushing them back against the wall, and then I used like 3 of them there. And then after I kind of looked around, I decided to move these lights over to that other wall with the plant on it. I just thought it looked like too simple on this other wall, but it looks really good on the other wall because there's already like a couple things sitting there in front of it. And once I got those placed where I wanted to, I just kind of looked around. I still need to decorate this like first wall, but I think everything else is like looking pretty good. I like the look of it so far. I think we needed like a little bit of furniture, so I actually picked this cloud chair to go over here in the corner. Just like this bed that I picked, I think it looks like a really comfortable chair, and I even already like the color of it. And then I decided to try this like hexagon LED light or something on this back wall and see if I like that, because I really need to fill up like the whole wall there. So I really just sized it like really big, and then I kind of just messed with the color, and like I ended up like picking like a lighter purple, which actually made it look like a lot more pink than purple, really, because it's that light, and there wasn't really anything I could do with that. So I really just wanted it to like blend in with the wall, I guess, or as much as it could. Then I love using this like New Year curtain or New Year like starlight curtain or something like that, because I don't know, I think it looks like really glitzy. And again, I just kind of messed with the color, but I ended up picking like a really light purple, and it really did blend in with the wall like really well, but it just gave it like a little bit of something. And then after I got the color just right, I don't know if I like love that light or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. And then I just need to add a couple more things to make this look more realistic. I like to use these comfy pillows. I think it's like comfy pillow pile, but I always like struggle with like trying to get them to look just right. But I wanted like a little bit more color like on that bed, and also for it to just look like really, really comfortable, like you just wanted to jump up there and lay down. And one of the pillows you don't even see because it's like under the bed or in the bed or something. And then I changed like one of the pillows to white and one of them to green, and it just kind of brings our green color in a little bit more. Then I tried to use this other ottoman, but I decided to use this like Royal Palace ottoman because it just took up a little bit more space and it just looked like it fit better. And then I just changed the color so it fit in, or like it blended in a little bit better with our purple theme. And then it really looked like it needed something sitting on it. I really wanted to just like lay a blanket across it, but there isn't one. So I used this folded shirt pile like 3 or something like that, just because I thought it looked like it could be a blanket like sitting there. And then if you guys look, I'm almost out of bucks, so I have got to get to grinding and doing some trading, and so I'm going to change up a little bit, but we will definitely come back after we grind some to decorate the rest of this house. So I pulled out my ice cube because I'm trying to make a neon, and it has a bunch of tasks like already on it, so we're gonna go ahead and get caught up on those. I got this trade, and this person wanted to offer for our alpaca. I will tell you guys that everybody wants to offer for this alpaca. It is so popular. It's also worth like a lot, and I had this person offer me all these legendaries, which seems like it was like a good deal, and probably values wise like they were probably over, but most of these legendaries are like really hard to trade pets. The one that I love is the chameleon, and the other like okay one is the golden dragon. I don't really know much about this Kai Jr., this legendary one. I do know the scorching Kai Jr. is like worth a lot more, and this one is not that one. And then all the other like legendaries are really hard to trade, and the value of them is like pretty low. It takes like 2 of them to add up to a 1, so I really don't even think that this person was over with this offer, and I just told him no thank you. And really guys, I am trading, but I'm mainly just trying to like grind and get bucks to decorate our house, but I might as well trade like while I'm out there. So I had this person ask me if they could offer for our Mega Ermine. If you remember, that's what we got for our last house, and this koi carp. I really like this horse, and the Springer Spaniel would be pretty easy to trade, but at this time they were pretty under. Then they added this neon. Those are really hard to trade, but then they added this mega blue butterfly, and I was like, okay, another mega, a horse, the Springer Spaniel, and another neon, so I decided to take this deal. And I'm sure some of you guys wouldn't have traded for this, but I love the butterfly, so I did. Then this trade is a perfect example of why you need to set up your profile. I had this person trade me, and they asked me if they could offer for the scarecrow horse. I don't even like this pet, so I will pretty much take anything for it. They put in this Ride Brown Springer Spaniel, which those would be really easy to trade, and it's a ride. I would have just taken that. I would have even traded it just for the Toasty Red Panda, so I definitely took this offer. I'm still grinding, and I pretty much always have my trading stand like out. Like I guess if I don't get trades, it's just because like the server ends up being like dead or something like that. And I saved up some bucks, but I was gonna go ahead and like work on some stuff that wasn't gonna cost me money or wasn't going to use up my bucks too much. At first, I changed the colors of all these doors, but eventually I just get rid of all the doors. I just delete them because I just don't think that they're necessary. Then I really want to try to use a bunch of the stuff that was free with the house just so we don't waste like more bucks. So like this couch, like I could definitely use that in this room, and that lamp. And then the candles and the shelf, like I just like moved those into the bathroom, or I moved them into the hallway because I want to use them if I can or if I need to. Then one of the things that I did was I went around to all these doorways doorways, and I know I said this like in an earlier video, but I went around to all these doorways on this main level and I actually made them like all look exactly the same. So I deleted all the doors and then I made the doorways look exactly the same on either side of the doorway. So I'll probably skip through a lot of that, but just know that all the doorways have like the same kind of frame going on there. And while I was doing some more grinding, I had this person ask if they could offer for my winter dough and this frozen penguin, and they put in this neon ibex and it was a ride. And I was definitely happy to accept this because I don't have a lot of people asking to like offer for the frozen penguin or the winter dough, so I would rather have a neon. And even though I've saved up some bucks, this gets like really expensive with using these ice pillars like on either side of the doorways, but I did it, so I want to like keep like going with it like in this house. But I kind of feel like if I hadn't done like the ice pillars and the ice like archway, I probably could have afforded like the whole house. So really I just walked around, I did this on either side of each doorway, and I made sure that on the other side of the doorway it also showed. And then I had put those like in all the corners of the house, and so I made sure that even in those rooms, like in all of these rooms, there were also pillars like in all of the corners. And then since I'm cloning it, I didn't actually have to make sure it was the right color because all of my trim is exactly the same color. So just make sure like you should like clone it and then move it to where you want it because it'll just make it easier. Then I worked on this vanity, and really I thought there was enough room, so I actually did like one sink on one side and then a cabinet, and then on the other side is actually another sink. I don't know, I just feel like if you have enough room in your bathroom, then you should do like the vanity like that. Then I knew I wanted to use this like makeup bench because I just really like those in the bathrooms. And I really struggled at first because I needed to fit in that makeup bench, and then we still have the toilet, and then I tried to do a shower but it didn't work out, so I ended up using a bathtub, but I still had to fit those all into this one bathroom. Then I have all the back of those plants like sticking through on that wall, plus I needed to change, or I wanted to change, the color of the wall, and so I went ahead and put up these wall panels. And I really should have done it before I put any of this furniture in the bathroom because it just would have made it like a little bit easier, but I didn't, so I'm doing it now. And when you can't change the wall color like you used to be able to do, I mean, I like it because it gives you a lot more choices, or choices in color, I guess. But when you can't just like change them all, like you really notice like all these little spots that actually need to be covered by wall panels so that they're the right color. And I also had some trim pieces that are very expensive that I realized I needed to move into that bathroom as well. And if you noticed, I didn't actually put those ice pillars in here, and I think it was just because I was going to see if you could even tell like a difference, like if anyone would even notice. And this is where I was still putting up walls, but I was still trying to figure out like how is all this furniture going to fit in here, and so I was just kind of like messing with it. I ended up making that toilet like pretty small, but I don't think anyone's going to notice. Okay, so once I get this last wall like up in place, I can like finally like pull out this bathtub and try to fit everything in, or fit all these pieces of furniture in. And here's about where I placed everything, but I'm still going to bring some more pieces into this bathroom. And I think I was just messing with like the colors of the bottles because they were like too bright or something like that, and I just didn't want them to stand out too much. Oh no, I ended up moving that toilet like over there to the left of the sink, but it's pretty small over there. But I think I like this placement the best. Then I already told you that I wanted to try to reuse like some of the stuff so we didn't spend so many bucks, so I'm reusing this shelf, and I'm just going to change the color of it, and then I'm going to put those candles that came with the house like up on top of the shelf. I really just love the look of the candles. That's another one of those items that I feel like I use in every single house. Then I wanted to make sure that this metal piece on the shower actually matched our sinks because it kind of looked funny. Then I'm actually going to put like 2 plants on the right side of this like shelf, and then I feel like for the most part, if any of the bases of any of the plants are like a different color, I usually just change them all to white because I just like the look of it better. And once I got those plants up there and I kind of moved them to the right side, and then the candles are on the left side, I just felt like it was missing like a little something, and so I put this little frame like in the middle of it. And then I'm just going to change the colors to like purple and white so it doesn't stand out like too much, but it just gives us like a little bit more like on that shelf up there. Then I wanted to use this stack shelf like back here behind the bathtub because we just need a little bit more going on in our bathroom. Then I changed the colors to white, and then I wanted to put some towels on the shelf, so I actually picked up this like towel rack, and then I changed the colors of that to white. And I know it kind of seems like funny, but I'm just going to move it to where it like fits onto the shelf and kind of takes up like 2 of the shelves. And I actually changed the color of the towels to like a very pale purple. Then I'm going to place this shampoo bottle on the shelf and really just need to fill the shelf so they look like there's something on there. And a lot of times when you put stuff on the shelf, you kind of want to like move the camera angle like around to make sure it actually looks like the bottle's sitting on there from lots of different angles. And then I feel like I use the sphere like a lot, like I just did change the color of it and it's just like a different shape on the shelf. You can't really tell what it is. Like, is it a perfume bottle? You don't know, something. And I feel like I use them a lot like on bookshelves just to fill up the space. I like the look of the bathroom, but we're going to come back to it. We're going to work on this room for a little bit. We're going to reuse that couch. I just changed the color to purple. And then I'm going to reuse that table that was in here. I'm going to change the color to white and then I'm going to like size it and place it in front of this couch so it just looks like a little coffee table. And I also took that floor lamp that was in here. I just changed the color to white and I moved it back behind our couch. I like all these pieces a lot. I like them because they're free, but I also like them because they're like very simple and they don't take away from our design too much. And then I realized again that like all of these walls have to be covered, and so I'm just going to clone and move it into place, and there's a lot of space to fill. And I really like to clone and then just like either size down or size up like these pieces so that they're already the color that I want them to be. And when I'm working on all these walls, I realized I wish adoptme would have kept it like the way that it used to be, where you change the wall color or the floor color or something like that, but they would have let you pick like a specific color for it, and that would have made it so much easier. I mean, there are like a bunch of like really awesome stuff that came out of this like new like building update, but this is a lot of work. And I feel like I skipped through like a bunch of this for you guys so you didn't have to watch all of it, but look at all these spots that need to be covered by the wall panels. At least the wall panels aren't like really expensive, so that's a plus. And it is going to look like really good when I finally get finished with it, but I think next time I'm going to go through and do all the walls to begin with. I definitely think it'll be so much easier, or it would be so much easier before I had all this trim up and before there was like any furniture in it. And whoever offers for this house is going to have to love the color purple. I think it looks really good, and I'm hoping that you guys will realize that I did like a bunch of pink in the last one, and someone was like, you can't always do pink, so this one's purple. And I'd love for you guys to like comment down below and tell me what color you think I should try to do next. Every time I think I'm almost done, I see like so many more spots that actually need wall panels on them. And this is just a reminder for any of you that like kind of forgot or need a reminder. You can change the playback speed of this video so you can watch it really slow, or you can watch it really fast, or you can watch it normal. And if you don't like listening to my voice like while I decorate the house or while you decorate your house, you can always just like mute it and play music in the background. And then I finally think I got finished with all the wall trim that I needed to do. And guys, this trade is kind of funny. I probably like over offered for this capybara, but this is kind of funny because I was in the same server with my alt account who was working on that trading challenge, like the year-long one. And on that account, this person actually offered for this capybara, and so this bunny girl or whatever had this capybara, and then she came to trade this other account, like she didn't realize we're the same person. And I really like the capybara, and so I really wanted to get it back. And so I did offer her this, and maybe it was an over offer, but that's okay because Happy Values says I'm very happy to get this capybara. Oh, actually, I just looked up values and I am super surprised, but this was actually a fair trade. I think I always forget that the horse isn't worth more because I think it's like in high demand. Like a lot of people would really like to get a horse, but the value of it really isn't that high. So this was a very fair trade, and so I'm kind of excited because I thought that I like super overpaid for that capybara, but I guess not. And can you comment down below and tell me if you would have done that trade for the capybara or not? And I really think that this girl just kind of like stumbled into my house. It wasn't necessarily like I'm not friends with her or anything like that. She just happened to come in my house, which makes it even crazier that she's the one that traded my alt account like with the capybara. But remember, I still have my trading stand up in the center of town, and I actually have this neon hot bop in it, and I had this person trade me an offer for my neon hot bop. They offered me this neon camel, and I know like usually I feel like I wouldn't have done this like trade because I actually think the hot bop is cuter than the camel, but I will tell you that this neon hot bop has been so hard to trade. I had no idea, but I think it's just because it's like lower value and everybody kind of got them when they were opening all those like moon eggs, but I have no idea if this neon camel will be hard to trade or not. So speaking of the neon camel, I actually put it in my trading stand, and I had this person and they tried to offer for it, and they offered me this neon mouse. I also think the neon mouses are really hard to trade, and so I didn't want to trade this neon camel. No matter how hard it is to trade, it's not going to be any harder to trade than that neon mouse. So I just told them no thank you. And I wanted to show you guys a look at my inventory so far. We haven't done a lot of trading, but we did get this neon camel today and this capybara. Then I have this legendary diamond dragon, and I have this alpaca, probably our best pet, or definitely our best pet. Then I have 3 of these cold cubes, which are ultra rare, which I'm going to work on getting a 4th one so I can make a neon cold cube at some point. But right now I'm actually working on these ice cubes, and I'm aging my last one up before I can make that neon. And then I really have like quite a few like neon pets, and I have that mega blue butterfly that we traded for, if you remember. But I'm so excited to get this house decorated and actually trade it and see what we're going to get for it. So I hope you'll join me for day 5 of Daphne Designs. This is the end of day 4. Bye guys, until next time.